Hello and welcome to LegalEase. My name is Vincent Perryman and I'm a local attorney with the law offices of J. Vincent Perryman. Each month, LegalEase focuses on a wide range of legal issues and topics. Today's show covers identity theft. With us now is Lynn Duncan of ID Theft Solutions of America. Welcome, Lynn. We hear so much today about identity theft, but I think it's such a broad topic that we don't understand it in general means as to what exactly is identity theft and how does it happen?
Well, basically right now identity theft is the #1 white-collar crime in America. It is the fastest growing crime in America, and according to the FTC, 1 out of 6 Americans has already been affected by identity theft. The problem is there's a lot of misconceptions, like you said, surrounding identity theft and truly what it is.
So as far as what are some of those misconceptions and what exactly is the root of the problem with identity theft?
Well, right now, I think with all the media focus and things like that, everyone thinks it's a credit card issue. And so I think it's a lot of passive attitudes on identity theft. I don't have to worry about being a victim. I have crappy credit. I wish someone would steal my identity. Hopefully they'll give it back better than they took it, things like that. But credit identity theft is actually less than 23% of all identity thefts. There's 4 other areas that cover almost 80% of identity thefts.
Well, what are those other areas?
Driver's license is one of the most familiar identity thefts, and that's somebody just having your information and getting a driver's license in your name. Simplest case scenario is they get a speeding ticket or a DUI and don't pay it. Now you have a warrant out for your arrest. Another one right now, Social Security identity theft, and that's somebody having access to your Social Security number so they can gain employment. The problem becomes real when they're not paying taxes, and all of a sudden you're getting that notification. The fastest growing right now is medical identity theft. In fact, the hottest ticket commodity on the black market is your insurance card. But even simpler than that, armed with your date of birth, your Social Security number, and your name, if someone is getting medical treatments in your name, that can be a dire situation for you. All of that information becomes muddled into your medical records. They could have a different blood type than you, different allergies than you, different pre-existing conditions. And if that is all being shared with insurance companies, with doctors, hospitals, pharmacies, and you go to treatment where you can't correct it, that can be a life or death situation for you.
So how does one's identity get stolen? I mean, what sort of information are they pulling and what are the sources?
Because it is right now the preferred crime of drug addicts, also of organized crime, just general theft is big. That could be the stealing of your purse or your wallet. The other thing is dumpster diving. Going not only to your trash, but also to places of business trash that might have your personal information, your name, your Social Security number, address, date of birth, things like that. Phishing is really big right now on the internet, and that's getting you into fraudulent sites and getting you to give up valuable information. And you're not even aware that that's what's going on. You think you are doing it with the place that you normally do business with. Skimming, we've heard about that with some of the businesses here where waiters or waitresses are being paid to wear a skimmer belt to swipe your information before they actually give you the bill and download that information, sell that information. Those are probably some of the more common ways that our identities are being stolen, along with all the breaches out there. In fact, more than 50% of identity theft is coming from the workplace, and it's mostly not an IT issue, but from mishandling of information, disposing it improperly, things like that.
Okay. When you were talking about skimming, is that they are swiping the credit card and just getting your credit card number off of it, or are they able to get more information from that magnetic swipe?
That basically what it is, they're getting your card number, expiration date, and name, and then that information is being sold in chat rooms and things like that.
Okay. And then as far as now you've covered sort of how it occurs, what can you do to help protect yourself?
There's a lot of things you can do, and probably the best thing that you can do is just have awareness of what identity theft truly is. Know that it involves those other areas. Opt out of pre-approved credit card offers. That's one of the things that's loading up everybody's mailboxes, but most of the time what they're doing is just throwing them away. A lot of people are unaware that if somebody does get their hands on that information and changes the address and more than 60 days goes by, you can actually be liable for that debt. Be wary of who you give your personal information to. If a place of business is asking for your social security number, your date of birth, ask what it's needed for. Ask how they protect that information. How do they safeguard it? Do they need it? What will they do if you refuse to give it? You have to be your own advocate when it comes to that. Don't send mail out that has any personal information in it from an unsecured mailbox. That's, again, another target where a lot of thieves are finding information. Our mail holds a lot of information. Monitoring services are probably one of the key elements to know if somebody has opened up an account in your name or changed your address. Other avenues like that that are being used.
Okay. And as far as, is the government got any regulatory stance to help us as individuals to be protected by putting regulations on businesses that have our financial information?
That's a great question. Right now, again, because of the fact that more than 50% of identity thefts have come from the workplace, the federal and state governments have passed several laws and legislation regulating how a company not only collects but stores and disposes of information. Because they have social security numbers, date of birth, background checks, HR files, maybe sometimes they take credit card payment, check payment. Because they have that information, they actually also need to safeguard that information. They have a right to safeguard it and protect our information. So the government is trying to make sure that those things are put in place. There's several different laws out there depending on what type of company you are. But for the most part, they're looking that you create a culture of security, that you create reasonable security measures to safeguard the information. And without it, if that information is mistreated and misused, they can face fines, they can face fees, penalties. There's no statutory limitation on class action lawsuits. There can be jail time for executives.
Okay. When we return, we'll continue our discussion about identity theft. Please stay with us.